back to another episode here with me, Rachel, and brought Jamie along, of course. We don't do anything without each other. So this week we've been talking about joy, which is, for us, we're talking about Jesus over you. And so that's kind of what today's is about. We're just kind of talking a little bit about what that means to us. And so I guess we'll just dive right in.
Jump right in.
So the world today is all about self-indulgence, self-fulfillment, making sure you set aside just for you, making yourself happy and comfy. Everywhere you look, it's about self-care, putting you first. Do what makes you happy.
Yep.
If it makes you uncomfortable, don't do it. You know, it could be indulging in a craving or maybe going and pampering yourself or whatever. Most of the time, by fulfilling yourself, we're making ourselves happy.
Yeah.
And while it's great to be happy, I enjoy being happy. That happiness, like we talked last week, only lasts about as long as the chocolate cake. I mean, whatever your self-indulgence is, you know,
whatever that is,
whatever that looks like for you. Probably chocolate cake for me. So what we're pulling apart over this next month is joy. We talked all about last week about joy and happiness and the difference between them. And if you haven't watched that, I encourage you to go and watch or listen to that episode. But joy is lasting.
Yes.
It's fulfilling. It's exciting. And it doesn't come from ourselves.
Yeah.
So how can we get this joy? How do we live it? How do we obtain it and experience it? So for me, one way that I have found that true joy really comes by denying myself.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly the opposite of everything I just said. But back a while ago, I don't know if you remember the Courtesy of Christ cards my dad made. And so the whole idea about that was we would go and look. Like it was trying to get us to just look at the world differently, but looking for ways to help people. And so whatever that might look like, and then once we help them, we hand these little cards that say Courtesy of Christ, and they might have had like the church info in the back
Yeah, it had church
something.
info, and then said something, Courtesy of Christ, and then I think it might have actually, did you have to sign? I feel like there was some that you had to sign your name. Was there something that you had to sign your name on?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I remember, but you basically to say, I did this not because of me, not because I'm a good person, but because Christ is in me.
Yeah, because Jesus loves you. I'm doing this for Jesus' love. And so while doing this, me and CJ had gone grocery shopping without the kids, which never happens. I can't even think of like what the situation was that we were able to go without kids. But without kids, and we were at the store, and this elderly woman came out, and her cart was just like, it caught my eye because how full her cart was. Like it was just really, really full. And she was just this tiny little old lady. And I'm like, CJ, let's go help her. Yeah. And I didn't want to. Like, what if she says no? Yeah. What if she's offended? Like, I'm not a little old lady. Like,
and then she lifts the whole cart up and throws it in the back of her thing.
I wasn't afraid of like doing the help. I was just afraid of like her not accepting it or whatever. Yeah. And so like we were at Aldi, so it wasn't like a bunch of bags. So like actually she could handle bags. Like no, it was like boxes and boxes of things. And I actually think there was maybe her daughter with her too, who was like older than us, but not super old. But
like our parents' age.
Yeah. And so I felt led to help her, and she allowed us to help her. And so she was super sweet and friendly, and it was such a blessing. And we walked away feeling a sense of joy because we didn't go help her to be like, so guys, this week when we went grocery shopping, we helped an old lady. Yeah. Like, no, we didn't even tell other people about it.
It wasn't a bragging right.
Yeah, it was just, Jesus loves you. This is what Jesus would want. And so this is what we did. Simply by following the Lord's leading, we had joy in helping someone load their groceries. As simple as that. And by obeying God's leading, we find joy.
Oh, yeah.
It can be a nudge to pray with someone. I know I have not been obedient in that call sometimes. Praying with people, like on a whim, like you're just like walking through Walmart randomly and God's like, go pray with someone.
And you're like,
we're in Walmart.
But wait a minute.
Or it could be picking up the trash off the ground, like just the smallest whispers of doing this, and it can bring so much joy when we actually listen.
Well, and that's the thing is, I remember being in STNA when I was going into people's rooms. Now, a lot of these people, I worked on the dementia floor, so like a lot of the people that I was, helping would never know me, would never remember me, would never anything. So and honestly, the things that I did for them every day seemed brand new to them because it was just what it was. But I remember thinking, like, as some of my coworkers would say, and not usually my regulars, but some of the people that would get pulled off other floors to come, that it's like, they have dementia. It doesn't matter.
Right.
They are not going to remember. if you go in there and sit with them for 10 minutes, or if you sit in there with them for an hour, they're not going to remember it. And I remember thinking, that's just so backwards, because like, just because they're not going to remember what I do for them. I remember sitting in there and I would sit with some of my residents and have talks with them, and honestly most of it was word salad, and I didn't really understand what they were saying, and they seemed really happy though. And I had so much joy in that, because it wasn't about, I wasn't getting a reward for that. I wasn't getting a customer review on that.
Right. Well, they weren't gonna go tell other people that you sat with them.
They're not gonna tell their family members. They're not gonna tell my management. Like, but yeah, I had so much joy giving them happiness, giving them joy, because I was able to sit with them while I wouldn't get anything from it.
Right, exactly. So that's exactly what we're talking about. And so also kind of goes along with that, with even obedience, but kind of with how you were talking about, it's about serving other people too. So at camp this past year, I feel like we spent the whole week doing things for the people. And I don't want to pat on the back, so that's not what this is about. But like more so than ever before, I feel like it was just constantly, you guys have this, where is this? Can you grab this? And like, I just feel like every time, like the steaks. How many hours did it take us to get those steaks?
We started these, so many of you joined us at camp, but if you had not joined us at camp, we do the game Amazing Race, and if you guys have seen the thing, it's basically you go to a location, you have to do like a puzzle, a challenge, an activity, something. So we had to set up 5. Just 5 flags. 5 flags. So just the stakes, the green stakes, you hammer it into the ground, put the pole over top.
That was it.
That's all we had to do. It literally took us from, when did we start? Like 8 a.m.?
Yeah, something like
from
that.
8 a.m. until, it was probably close to church time.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe, did we have music class that day? So like it was maybe like right before music class.
Right before music class. So it would have been right before 3:45.
Yeah.
So from 8 o'clock in the morning to 3:45, we had not gotten these steaks.
We could not get. I think we maybe got 1 steak in the ground.
Yeah, we did
early, and then the rest of them we could not get in.
We ended up doing them later that night.
Yeah, like we just could not get them done, and it's because we were constantly getting pulled away to help other people. And if you've seen me and Jamie on the golf cart, we were laughing the whole time, because even though we would literally be in the middle of a swing to put a steak in, and we hear, Jamie, Rachel, come here. We wouldn't get frustrated. I had so much joy and so much fun. And just serving you guys and just putting your guys' needs, whether that was a camper or a worker or getting something, fixing something, whatever it may have been. There was so much joy to me at camp this year, just simply by serving.
And I think that's where people get confused, is we do live in, like you were saying earlier, we live in this day and age where it's self-care. You can't hardly go on social media, you can't go anywhere without them being like self-care, 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 which I think there's a bit of truth to it.
There's a healthy way of doing that.
Yeah, there's a healthy way of doing that, but I think that if you, like for me, I am one that has a hard time, and maybe I'm in the wrong, I have a hard time relaxing. I have a hard time just slowing down, doing something that I want to do, which I don't think is 100% healthy either, but I find more joy, like I get more joy out of coming over here to put camp stuff together than I do sitting at home watching my favorite TV show. Like, even though that's self-care, that, I guess to me, that would be self-care. Self-care is reminding yourself who you are in Christ, and that it's not always going to be what you want, pampering or anything like that. Like, your self-care can be finding joy in giving yourself up for something.
And I think between serving and obedience, that's where I have found so much joy. Is just laying down my wants, laying down my cares, my preferences, to doing what Jesus is telling me to do, whether that's simply just an obedient, like prayer with someone, something simple, or if it's serving someone. And either way that it goes, I just think that has brought so much joy in my life.
With all and again, it's not of us, because obviously we are very much human. I don't know if you knew that.
I'm very human.
We're very human. Like, if we were the
if I get smacked in the face with a tree branch, I feel it, because I'm human.
But you know what I also feel is when there's a giant water jug baseball bat,
it's fine,
coming flying through my head. No, but like, there should have been no way that we should have had that much fun.
No, that's what, like, I think I was talking to CJ later or whatever, besides the whole sunburn incident. But like, I just, like, not just had fun, but like, I really just felt so joyful during camp. Like, I really did. Like, we have a good time together, no matter what we're doing, really. But like, even with different things that would come up that could frustrate us or like aggravate us, like we would just kind of brush it off and keep going.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? There was just so much joy in it, and I just love that.
Yeah, I do too. It's a lot of fun.
So,
but
like I just kind of like completely threw out the outline.
It's all good. It's all good. We're having good discussion.
Yeah. So, and that kind of goes with to the mission trip that we took to Texas.
Oh yeah.
We did nothing for ourselves the whole time we were there.
Listen, I think that we've spoke about it
a couple
before.
times before.
Basically, for the recap for the people that didn't know, we went to Texas for when Hurricane Harvey hit. We went down with Samaritan's Purse to help with these people's homes that were completely damaged, and we were basically the wrecker team that came in and would like take everything out that was water damaged and different things, so
moldy
so that other contractors could come in and rebuild for these people. And when I say we were tired, I mean we were tired. Like if you think camp is tiring, even as a camper.
Yeah. But no, you got up. Breakfast was like 6 a.m. or something?
Breakfast was at 6.
So you had to get up to get ready before, ready.
We were wheels up and loaded at 7.
Yeah, like it was crazy early and just go. But then I was thinking just this week, when we got done, we didn't just come and crash and sleep. Like we went and played because like, I just think we were so full of joy. Yeah. Like there's such a hype behind
and you're able
joy.
to talk to people that, like being able to talk to, we call her Mama Rosa. She was one of the people that we went and took care of their house and stuff. But like, they were so grateful, and just being able to talk to them and be able to share Jesus with somebody that may have not known them before that. Right. Like you think somebody's coming to your house to help you take things out, but you're also getting the message of Jesus along with that. Yep. Now, I just think that if people would let go of some inner things, like some selfish things, not that it's not wrong to like things, it's not wrong to have hobbies, it's not wrong to do things that you like to do, but I think that if you make your main focus self-serving, you're going to be a lot more happy in the long run.
You'll be content.
Oh yeah, content.
So much more content.
And that's the thing is, I remember thinking, like through camp, like we're a major part of camp, but our opinions don't matter when it comes to things. Like, and only God can do that, because if you're a large part of something, you feel like you have the entitlement to give an opinion about it. Right. We may give an opinion, but that's not going to be the ultimate opinion.
Right. And there was a couple of times that came up.
Yeah.
And so we're like, here's our opinion. Whatever happens, like we don't care. And like it didn't always go in our favor. No. And like I didn't care.
No. And that's the thing. If somebody would have chosen, I'm like, I just want it to be set.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I just want it to be set.
Right.
And I think once you get to that point where you're not offended by your putting in, then you're going to be a lot happier. You're going to be joyful because you're going to be...
It's not about you.
No, yeah.
Exactly. So that what we're talking about, that joy that comes from serving and obedience and stuff, once you get a feel for it and shining His glory, it's something that you won't ever want to let go of.
Yeah.
That spirit that was at I get at camp sometimes, and I had in Texas, of just selflessness all around, is just something that it's once you experience it, you just can't. You don't want to let go of it. Like I've
also
keep it.
Noticed something too about if you are in that mode of like you're self-giving, that you're more likely go out of your box without it feeling like you're going out of your box. Like I'm a very, like, I know that, like, to most people, like, I seem like a very people-y person. I'm not a very I have a lot of people fooled about the people-y person thing. I am not a people-y person. I get very exhausted very quickly, even when I'm around, like, we have a big group of probably, like, 20, 21 people that, like, are around us constantly. I get exhausted even if with that inner circle. Yeah. And it's very out of my element to talk to people I don't know. It's very out of my element to be a leader of anything, tell people how to do anything. And that's literally what a minion does. Yeah. Is like, they're like, you're the person that knows stuff, so everyone comes to you. Right. But the entire time at camp, I wasn't worried about that because it wasn't me doing it. Right. It was him. Right.
Because it's not relying on yourself. And so, yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of pressure behind, I'm very much a person who worries about what other people think of me, pleasing other people and all these things. But God's kind of helped me recently. I was sharing with CJ, just letting go of a lot of that, because when you start serving Him and obeying Him, it doesn't matter what other people think. And so if you're stepping out of your comfort zone to serve Him, but it's truly for Him, it doesn't matter the outcome.
You'll still have joy in it.
Yeah, because it wasn't for you in the first place. So, point pointing others to him, not ourselves, though it's the opposite of what the world's telling us. There's so much joy in denying ourselves, in obeying Jesus, and choosing to be uncomfortable, inconvenienced, and simply choosing Jesus over you.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah, I just want to bring home the whole thing of like Jesus over you.
Yeah.
Like it literally, and that's, I think we've talked about this before, it can't be you. It literally, like, you are never going to be joyful in yourself.
Right.
Joyful is something that only can come from him. So it literally has to be Jesus over you. It can't be, well, sometimes it's me. Sometimes I'm the one causing my joy. No. If you ever think about that, then you're not going to be fully joyful. You are going to be joyful when you are doing things good or things they're going well. But to have true joy, you have to realize that it's Jesus over you. Not, it can't be any other way.
So like at camp, when you have hundreds of people coming to you and asking you to do things, it's not Rachel.
Jamie Rachel.
Yeah, it's not Rachel. My ability to be like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, no, like I'm gonna be like, again? Like, I'm tired, people.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But choosing Jesus over what's comfortable for me.
Jesus is going to get on that golf cart, and he's going to take whatever it is over there, even if it's
a giant pool that you have to hold over top of you and hide under.
And that's the thing is, and I don't want to put it out there like as if we live our lives absolutely perfectly, because
I choose Rachel over Jesus much more than I should.
Oh yeah, and I think it's easier, just as it's easier for you guys at camp to stay focused on Jesus because he's right there, and you're getting that closeness, and then when you leave, you have that little bit of hard time keeping that flame going. We have that same thing. Camp's easy for us to be, joyful because it's right there. Jesus is right there constantly. But when you go back to your normal lives, you have to make that decision. Not even, I would, like everyone says, like it's a daily decision, but I would say it's almost like a minute by minute decision because there's been several times that I thought I was being joyful and I was joyful and then something came through and I'm like, hold on, Jesus, I need to take this over.
You wake up and you're like, today's the day.
Yeah.
And then like first thing in, the kid comes in and like spills milk everywhere and you're just like, already? It is minute by minute. You have to almost step back and assess like, okay, this is what I want. This is how I want to react. But how does Jesus want to react? And choosing Jesus over what's comfortable. Choosing Jesus over what's easy. Choosing Jesus over...
It's so much easier to yell at someone. It's so much easier to, throw a hissy fit and, get your way or, have a bad attitude towards someone through the rest of the day just because they did, the one thing in the early morning and now you're mad at them the whole day. But Jesus wouldn't do that. So I think that's where we really need to be, is that it's literally Jesus over you and it's not you. You can't. So the thing is about this is that you can't place Jesus over you. You have to allow him to be there. So like if you're trying to shove Jesus there, it's not going to work. He has to be there and you have to allow him to be there. It's not going to be I read my Bible, so now you're over me now. You're over me now because I read my Bible. No.
He doesn't owe you.
No, it's not I work harder for him to be over me. It's you have to just allow him to be over you while you just kind of fade into the background. But yeah.
So
I think that's good.
I hope that made sense to somebody.
Yeah, I hope that like our jargon is just listen, when we start talking to each other, it's just like
it's fine.
We understand what's going on.
Yeah. Hopefully someone out there understood that and got something from that today. So today's considerable quote comes from Charles Spurgeon. Obedience to the will of God is the pathway to perpetual honor and everlasting joy. And today's song is brought to us by Rent Collective, again, titled Joy. Thanks so much for chatting with us and listening to us, whatever that was. And stay tuned for next time. And I guess that's it.
All right. Bye.